This right here might have been PlayStation's dumbest idea. And I've seen people play this. I've seen people, like, not in person, but I've watched videos and people reviewing this. And it looks really cool. It sucks because, like, it looks really cool. Bro, imagine if this was a handheld. Like an actual standalone console handheld. Like, why didn't PlayStation just drop a handheld? I have no idea. Maybe, you know what? I had a theory, right? Because this is the most stupid idea. Why wouldn't PlayStation knows that people been eager to have a PSP2? I believe that this will become. I think that they dropped this as to see, like, to see. I don't know. No, I can't say that because if people knew that this was a standalone console handheld, people would buy it more than they would buy this. I don't know, man. I think PlayStation just dropped something as a test, man. Can you even get this? Hold on. Can you even get this? Like, is it out? I know it's no, it's out right now, right? I could buy this PlayStation Portal. The funny thing about it is currently not available. Where the cop at? Stop. People are buying it and reselling it on StockX. Like the design, man. The design looks really cool, man. Currently unavailable. Yo, I'm not gonna lie. I gotta really get my money up because I need to start doing stuff like this, buying stuff like this and reselling it. People are reselling it for $300 as if it's an actual console. It's just a remote play. I love the design, man. It looks cool, but like, what can you really do? Like, I would love to play PlayStation while I'm laying in the bed chilling. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Just like the good old days when you were a little kid, man. You a little kid, you got your handheld. I had a PSP. You got your PSP. You get in the bed, get under the blanket. A nice winter night. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? You under the covers. You know what I'm saying? Playing PlayStation, watching YouTube, just vibing. You know what I'm saying? And I think the PSP was multiplayer too. Was it? I don't remember. Like, man, I know it's handhelds out there like Nintendo Switch, etc., but like PlayStation, it has to be a reason why they dropped this. Like, they're not stupid. Why? Like, this has to be a gear up for an actual PSP2. It has to be.
All right, I'm on camera, but I'll say the thing. Hey, we're back with another episode of Before You Buy, that show where we give you some straight-up gameplay and our first impressions of the latest games releasing today. We're talking about more hardware. What a year for handheld stuff it's been. We're talking about the PlayStation Portal today.
The design looks good.
With this thing? I know we're like the last people to put out a video, but we figured better late than never. I know some of you guys are still interested anyway. So what I did here, we were not sent a review unit. I went out and just bought one. I had to buy it on Facebook Marketplace. Pretty much the only reason why it's still worth keeping Facebook these days. But yep, got one, spent time with it over the Thanksgiving holiday weekend, and I definitely have some thoughts. This took us by surprise in a lot of ways. The response, specifically from the PlayStation community, the fact that it also is sold out everywhere. They pop up here and there, like just the other today they popped up for sale at Walmart for a little bit, but generally they are sold out everywhere. PlayStation's website says, hey, check back in December. And that is interesting because this device is just for streaming. It's just for remote play. That's it. But seemingly, a lot of people are really excited in remote play, use remote play in various ways, and want a dedicated thing for it. And the PlayStation Portal is premium for that. And I want to put my biases out front for this. Like, when I heard about this device and even now kind of using it, it's not for me. I know people say, like, Jake, you just like everything. I don't like this, but I'm not going to be a dick because essentially this exists for a certain type of customer. I'm just not that customer. But it is still very interesting how Sony went about this, so I do still want to go in depth on it. Now, this is like a $200 premium device. Even though it is a simple device that really only does one thing, you might think $200 is a lot, but I guess at the very least I can say it feels very premium. So we're going to start talking about the design.
It costs about as much as an Elite controller.
Is the controller. This thing has a whole DualSense controller, just cut in half with a screen in the middle of it. So you're getting full controller functionality, like uncompromised. You're getting the haptics, the feedback, the triggers, all of it. So I think that is absolutely the best thing this device has, and it kicks the pants off of any other type of handheld. It's the fact that it has complete, uncompromised control. So essentially, the experience is one-to-one when your hands are playing on your PlayStation console or when you're playing on this thing. And I love that. And the device itself, like the screen is pretty thin. It's relatively light. You feel the controller part, but it's relatively light, but it just feels so delicate. I guess that's a good or a bad thing. It feels premium, but also it feels a little, I don't want to throw this in my bag and take this traveling with me as much. This feels to me very much like how maybe you'll have like an iPad on your coffee table that you just pick up and access and jump into something. That's what this feels like. It feels intended for the home. I mean, PlayStation themselves don't manufacture a travel carrying case for this thing or anything, and they stress very much in the marketing just remote playing on your home network. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But the big thing also here is the screen, of course, the thing that takes up most of the object. The screen's pretty good. It's an LCD. It can do up to 1080, 60 frames per second, depending on your streaming, and the colors are really good. It's okay. My only real complaint is that in some games, it looks a little washed out here and there, depending on the situation. They pop. It's not the most like blazing fast, ultra incredible screen you've ever seen before, compared to like your high-end laptop or like newest smartphone or anything like that, but it more than gets the job done. And considering you're streaming PlayStation gameplay to this device, it looks decent for that. The buttons on top, streaming PlayStation gameplay to this device, it looks decent for that. The button streaming smartphone or anything like that, but it more than gets the job done. And considering you're streaming PlayStation gameplay to this device, it looks decent for that. The buttons on top are very accessible, easy to access, easy to press. You're not like hitting a button by mistake.
So cool.
Power button, then there's like the link button, volume buttons, easy peasy. The bottom of the device, nicely enough charges with USB-C, and it's got a headphone jack, which is great. They didn't go like the smartphone device.
I wonder how much this would cost if it was a standalone. I think that's good,
specifically because you can't just do Bluetooth headphone pairing to this. That is a huge negative in my book, personally. I know some people were disappointed about that. Sony wants you in their ecosystem for devices, so you have to use like a newer PlayStation, like Sony-owned headset with the Pulse technology in it. Again, that comes around with them like preserving their experience, like the effects you get with those headphones. I get it, but again, it's kind of like walled garden ecosystem type thing. But otherwise, the device functionality, all that seems pretty good so far. The touchpad essentially is the screen. It is a touch screen, and there are certain areas on the screen that you touch that would serve as the left or right side of the touch bar trackpad thing. Also, the light accents on the PlayStation controller go like all the way down the fronts, which is just like a really nice visual touch. But then actually using the device. Now, I've been using Remote Play on and off for many years. I really liked using it with the Vita back in the day. But since then, like we've tested it in other videos, just regular Remote Play, and now even using it here, it's more apparent that Remote Play is pretty good at this point. It's come pretty far. It fires up pretty quick. And that's what I really like to see. That was my biggest concern here. You power it on. The thing is very much immediately ready to go. It says, hey, let's connect to your PlayStation 5. You do that. The loading process to that does not take as long as it used to. Like if you were used to remote playing with the Vita or something like that, it has gotten much better years since, and especially here. And with this really cool little transitional effect. They took PlayStation Portal to heart, because you kind of get like this little Doctor Strange magical portal thing.
It looks so cool. That's what I'm saying. Like PlayStation put all this work in.
It's very slick. It's nice.
It looks so
comforting.
Cool.
It works with the regular PlayStation 5 ecosystem if you're into that. And like that's all nice and fancy, but again, the most important thing is that it's pretty quick. And then from there, you can completely access your PlayStation 5 that is running. You can go through the menus, you can go through your library, you can click to download new games, you can access games that you've already downloaded and get playing. And then from there, the experience is remote play. It's not bad. It's not the best in the world. I'll say that as somebody who has tested all of the streaming things lately, specifically even like Google Stadia's streaming tech I found to look and feel a little bit better. But this is different. This is you accessing your home console over the internet, over your local area network. Or, you know, I have my PlayStation running at home, and we're accessing it here in the Game Ranks office, and it's working well. It still has slowdowns here and there, and sometimes it looks a little choppy. And at this point, actually, my home internet's pretty good. I have like fiber optic finally, and like a good solid Wi-Fi 6E router and everything. And you know, it's not perfect even when I'm pretty close to the router. That's just kind of the nature of the thing. The devil. I again have gone on record so much how I don't like playing streaming. I like my games like loaded onto my thing. If I have a choice, I will always take that. And the PlayStation Portal like didn't convince me otherwise or anything like that. But again, this is me. This is my personal preference, my personal choice. I did have more of like an aha, like, oh, duh, that's what this is for with this device. The people I've talked to that are excited about this device are people who just are into PlayStation ecosystem and just want a fun new way to play their PlayStation games. Or there's somebody that has a big household or a busy household or roommates or a wife or a husband or children where they're using the TV and you want to be around with them, but they're using the TV and you just want to sit on the couch and still access your PlayStation and play your games. And with this, you can absolutely do that. So while this doesn't fill a void for me, personally, it absolutely does fill a void for some other people. And you can play action games on this. Like, it can somewhat keep up. Like, we were playing Spider-Man and stuff like that. But ultimately, and this is why I used to use remote play back in the day, is this is great if, like, you're chewing through an RPG or something like that. Like, if you're going through Baldur's Gate and you're doing every single side quest and all the story and all the turn-based battles, you could play it on this and have a great time. And to its credit, like, for faster paced, more twitchy action games and stuff, like, I was able to get pretty high combos in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. That's my muscle memory game. That's my crazy boy game. So it is competent. It is capable. But I think it really sits best for that person. Like, if you're sitting there and your kid is using your TV, your friend is using your TV, and you just want to grind out some quests on the couch or in bed, this will hit for you. If you're more like me, you're a little bit more of a lone wolf. You have access to your games like whenever, you know, you don't care. Not as much of a priority, of course. Or if you play on multiple platforms, you have a bunch of different options. But again, I think that's a good thing about the PlayStation Portal, excuse me, is that it is just another choice, another option, a way to play your games, to access your games that you own on Sony's console. So I think that's a win at the very least. And again, it feels pretty premium quality and well made. So you might hear $200 and go, ugh, but yeah, it's Sony hardware. Sony hardware tends to be expensive, but this doesn't feel like they half-assed it at least. And the battery life for this thing, I think the problem is that it's using the DualSense, which is an absolute drain on battery. But I had gotten 5 hours on a session, and I've seen other people, I've seen a range of like 4 to 7, 4 to 8, 5 to 7. It depends on how you use it.
I'm sitting here, it's like 2:54 or 5 in the morning.
Your brightness.
I'm sitting here in my chair falling asleep. And shout out to this
level, of course. And speaking of brightness, it is worth mentioning, like, if you're playing this in your apartment and you want to like step out
to your
balcony, or you're playing it at your house and you want to go chill in the backyard, and if your Wi-Fi signal can do it, the brightness outside is pretty good. You can play. I definitely recommend like in the shade, but we took it outside and it was totally doable. But yeah, pretty simple, cut and dry. I will say, like, if you're trying to buy one or you were excited for one, I can confirm that like it's probably what you're into. As long as you know what you're buying into, you know about the fact that like you can't do the Bluetooth headset to it, is kind of bullshit. And you know that this is just really strictly for remote play. If you were excited for that, mission accomplished. It does the thing. If you didn't do your research and you're like, oh cool, like a portable PS5, like it's not that. It's not your wildest dreams or anything like this. It's just you accessing your PlayStation 5. It works. This is not how I play my games, but for you, if you do, sick. This is good. I've talked for a while now. I don't want to just like say things just for the sake of just like dragging on the video, but that's really it here. I've seen you freaks in our comments saying, like, referring to this thing as the PSP. Don't do that. Like, listen, really. This is a PSP. I mean, this is a Vita, but like you get the point. It is technically PSP PlayStation Portal. I get it. I'm arguing semantics. I'm having fun here. I guess now this is the new portable PlayStation for many people. So I hope you enjoy if you're getting one for the holiday season, or if you got one already. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let's talk about this thing. Again, my bias is that I just don't like streaming games to things really, unless I absolutely have to. If you were somebody who maybe, again, the couch situation or you're traveling a lot, I'd love to hear your insight, definitely, because I am only one person here. Let's talk about anything PlayStation Portal, anything PlayStation down in the comments. We definitely want to hear from you. Shout out to Manuel who sold this thing to me off Facebook Marketplace. Appreciate you, dude. But that's it. Let me know in the comments what you're thinking. Click the like button if this video helped you out at all. But that's it. I'm Jake Baldino. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.
Bro. I gotta stop doing reactions so late. Either that or the Portal will put me to sleep. Bye. I'm gone, man. Thank y'all for watching.